Well, I froze. Oh, that was weird. I froze. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. By everybody, I mean one person. But that's all right. This is my alternative channel, and I didn't advertise. Um, but nice thing about these videos is they're recorded, so you can come back and watch them. And I guess what I'll do is this is going to be like one of my mobile thons where I just do a narrative, which is fine. Now, tonight's episode is the impersonator game. And what I'm doing is I'm going to change the background, or I thought I was going to change the background. Oh, well, I'll just leave it here for now, because I can do the alternative. But, you know, this being a small channel, I can get away with stuff like this. And whoever is watching this nonsense, welcome. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Anyway, tonight's video is part of a new series I've started, and it is The World According to Timmy. And what I will be doing on future live streams on this channel is we are going to look at some of the things that happen in Timmy's world and what I guess you would say is on Timmy's mind, and also things related to Timmy, which brings us to tonight's subject. Now, on my multicast last night, or simulcast, Kathy Watson supposedly came in a room, or at least someone that had the username Kathy Watson. And there were some other people that came in too, and we had a relatively cordial conversation. Now, the problem was that apparently this is not the real Kathy Watson. For over on Telegram, this post was put up. If anyone sees my name in the comments of the circus show, just know it is not me. The dude must be hurting for viewers and comments. I had to make myself listen to this rumbling SMU. Anyone that knows me knows I watch and listen, guessing. After the comments I made in this group, I found my name in old MURT's video making comments. I was actually listening to Waltz live in another chat room. Then Mr. Lynn, when, MURT was mumbling, I am not the ones. Well, anyway, what Watson is saying is that the person who posted in my live stream last night is not Kathy Watson. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome. I guess it's going to be kind of a slow night, which is, you know, these things happen. The second channel doesn't draw very many people. It's primarily a recorded archive, which was the original purpose. But anyway, getting back to the subject at hand, there's been a lot of commentary over on Telegram about people not being who they say they are. We have a real deep state Dave and a fake deep state Dave, and you know it's kind of hard to keep track of who is who over there because you can't seem to grasp that people are trolling everywhere. They troll here, they troll there, and they kind of overblow the situation. I mean, they come over here and troll, and somebody's trolling them. I don't know what's so shocking about that, but that's the way it is over there. But they insist that they are being impersonated, that there's all these imposters out there pretending to be them. And so, once again, I have to remind people that may tune into this later that I have contended this sort of thing for years. And it was touched upon briefly in the show last night. And that is that there are people who got a hold of my login information and came into my America Online account and my Pal Talk account at the time and impersonated me. And a chat came about that I had no knowledge of or did not participate in that had its origins in the Chan websites, 4chan in particular at that time, and they basically impersonated me and came up with all this crap. And so now, over on the Telegram channel, we have this little ditty that came up. And this actually proves my point, that you cannot take into account anything that's said or done on the internet when you're accusing somebody of someone or of something. Now, Tim Holmseth for years has accused me of being a pedophile simply because of that chat. And, of course, it's not true. But as we know, Timmy does not believe in the truth. And so when he got wind of this chat, he decided that he was going to call me a pedophile, and he was going to accuse me of being involved in just about every crime you could think of. And, the criminal acts were false. But this was murder, rape, child trafficking, drinking child's blood, being a member of the Finders. I mean, ad infinitum. It was every single solitary thing that you could think of to accuse somebody of, he accused me of. And so did his partner in crime. Now, and it's gotten to the point where it does no good to try and convince these people that Timmy's lying. You go over there and they praise him like he's the new Messiah. He just does this stuff, and there's people out there in his circle of friends who do all these impersonating that they accuse others of doing. Now, there may be some people that are doing the impersonation. I don't know, and I don't care. But the gist of all this is that it is proof, finally, of what I have been saying for years, that there have been people that have impersonated me and other people, and that the statements and everything else that you see on the internet that are supposedly of negative impression towards me is false. And this is the sort of thing I've been fighting for years. And it does not matter what these people think of me publicly. That has to be now in the back of their mind when they turn that little computer of theirs off or turn off their little smartphone, that I have a point, that it's me being impersonated along with your circle of friends. It is people in my sphere of influence, if you want to call it that are being impersonated, and it is their people in their sphere of influence that is being impersonated. And while they may not admit it publicly, privately, they now realize that they've been played in more ways than one. Not just the fact that Timothy Charles Homeseth is an absolute fraud, but he is also an absolute liar. He makes stuff up. He misrepresents things. He makes claims that are simply not true. And, you're stuck with it. Whether you want to believe him or not, that's the truth. That he is a liar and a fraud. Now, of course, you're not going to say or do anything to convince people otherwise because they agree with what he says. Everybody in that area believes there's such a thing as a deep state and that Trump is the next thing to God and there's all this stuff going on and it's the Democrats that are responsible and yada, 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 yada. And Tim agrees with us, so he must be the real thing. And he's not. And then, of course, people go around and say, well, let's try and get him off the air or at least disrupt the show. And they do it by coming into the chat, or they used to anyway, and troll. And one of the people that came in here and did the trolling was this Kathy Watson. Now, apparently, it was not the real Kathy Watson, if you want to believe what is over on Telegram. Kathy Watson says over on Telegram, it's not me. And apparently, I don't know if that's true or not. And, there are a number of people that came in and, did their thing. And I had a conversation extensively with one of them. And then everybody went on their merry old way. Now, Telegram is still doing Telegram. BitChute is still doing BitChute. And so on and so forth. Now, as I said before, I am going to be eventually going over to the other channels. I will be putting material over on BitChute. I will be putting material over on Telegram. I may do a talk show on Telegram if I can ever figure the thing out. I will be doing stuff on Parler. I may do stuff on Twitch and so on and so forth. And if I get the numbers that I want, I may even go on Roku. Somebody suggested years ago that I go on Roku, but the thing with Roku is that you're limited to the device. You got to have Roku, or you got to have a cable service that has the ability to broadcast to Roku stations or something. I don't know. It's something I never really explored. And even now, I don't think it's real practical because I don't have the numbers to do it. But we'll see, because I'm going to be covering court cases on the other channel. It's like I said last night. I am going to be simulcasting regular stuff. But when we get involved in the wacky, wonderful world of Timmy and related subjects, they will come to this channel exclusively and will not be simulcast on the other channel or mentioned on the other channel. Now, they may get mentioned on my new platforms once I have the time to figure them out and of course, we'll be cavorting with the enemy over there, quote unquote enemy. And so we'll talk to them. But one of the things I'm going to be doing on BitChute and on the other platforms, the same that I do here, is I'm going to be covering missing child cases. I'm going to be covering court cases having to do with pedophiles, child traffickers, child pornographers, all of that. I happen to be next door somewhat to a county that is probably the most prolific when it comes to arresting pedophiles. And they're rather public about it, and that's Polk County, Florida. And Sheriff Grudd over there, or Judd, or whatever the hell his name is. I'm going to have to remember exactly what his name is. But he's a rather interesting character, and he has a rather unique way of chasing down pedophiles. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage of that county. And if there's anything here in Orange County, I'll be covering that as well. So, stay tuned for that. Because, I'm going to be getting back on track to the original format the other channel had. And I'm going to spread the information out over on BitChute and Telegram so that people can see how to legitimately cover this problem of child pornography, child trafficking, child abuse, human trafficking, and so on and so forth. And that is to present actual court cases and actual cases of arrest and so forth that happen. Polk County Sheriff usually will put up he'll have press conferences when they do the big operations, and he'll put up like 20 or 30, and up to 200 mugshots of individuals that have been caught in a sting where they came thinking they were going to molest a child and wound up being getting 3 squares and a cot. And so I will be doing that. And, I won't be doing Epstein fake videos or anything like that. Yeah, Rebecca, he's a rather unique guy. He does these things, and it's kind of like watching To Catch a Predator. He's kind of taken it over, and so it makes for both entertaining television, or in this case it's on the internet, plus you see just how widespread this problem is. And this is just Polk County, and you got people that come from all over the state to Polk County thinking they are going to meet children, and they are going to commit these deviant acts, and they wind up getting 3 squares and a cut. And you would think they would wise up, but every couple months or so, he pulls this stuff and puts it up there. And yes, he tells it like it is. And yeah, he's just a funny guy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm, in contact with people within the Polk County Sheriffs, and I am going to start researching court cases in Polk County and go from gavel to gavel, from arrest, if the people get out on bail, if they go to court, if they're convicted, what their sentence is, if they plea out, do they get a fine, do they get probation, do they go to jail, what exactly happens to these people that get caught in these things. See, that's what doesn't come out, is that when the sheriff does these raids, we really never hear what happens after the fact. We don't hear about the trials, and we don't hear about the evidence, and we don't hear the tapes where he's talking, the perpetrator is talking to what he thinks is a teenager or younger, and so forth. All we see is a brief show, if you want to call it that, in a press conference where he hangs a collage up on a billboard and says, we caught these people doing these disgusting things. They're going to get their ass handed to them. They're going to get free room and board at our local Heartbreak Hotel, and so on and so forth. And that's the end of it. So now it's going to be just the facts, Max. And so that's what we're going to be getting involved in here. And so everyone has that to look forward to. Now I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I would like people on this channel specifically to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button, because I really want to grow this channel as much as I can, and I also want to grow the other channel as well. And this way we can spread the good word about what goes on out there. And so let me come on camera. So I would just like to say thank you, Rebecca, for coming in. It's one of these nights where there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. And so it's nice to know that somebody watched. Of course, this is recorded. And so more people can come in and watch the recording. And I'm sure they're going to be celebrating over at the other end, because I only got 2 people on here tonight. Or 3. Actually, we wound up with 3. But, I didn't expect to have anybody, because this is a last minute thing, and so on and so forth. So until the next time we meet, have a good one.